Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. Now, today I'm going to be joined in a minute by Kyle Gordon, who's coming all the way from
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Of course, what a lovely part of the world. And Kyle will be coming with his piano and his little orange amp that he's got there to talk to us all about his life in music and the music that he's currently making, which evokes beautiful landscapes in our mind, which we all need because, in this AI dumpster of a world that we now live in, some of us need to open our minds to a little bit more creativity. So maybe this will help. Okay, we'll be back to talk any minute now after the dancing cat.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
There you see, I promised a dancing cat, and the dancing cat was there. Of course, do take notice of the advert. The advert is obviously from Analog Trash. Thank you for supporting this program. And if you want actual physical stuff, like records and CDs and T-shirts and whatever, actually winging their way to you through the post, then do go and join their supporters club, because that's what it's all about. You don't know what you're getting. It's a bit like pot luck, but it's marvelous. That you'll get stuff that you probably would never have picked through the post, and that's a good thing. Kyle,
Hi.
sir, Atlanta, Georgia. What is it like making music in Atlanta, Georgia in 2026?
Trying to just tell the truth, whatever that means. Like tell my truth, I guess as the kids say. So it just means a lot to me to you have integrity in this, as you mentioned, AI and all that. Just trying to create something that means something to me is the most important thing. As I get older, if I don't believe in it, I don't want to put it out. I don't want to, that's what's going on in Atlanta for me. In Atlanta, right
I love the word. I love the word truth. I have a theory about truth. I'm not sure that an absolute truth exists.
I agree.
My view on this is that when humans get together, though, and we share our truths and we listen, that we get a bit nearer to a truth. We never get there, but we get a bit nearer.
Yeah. Well, it's harder to get together these days, though, too, which is the problem. And so when we get together, hopefully those connections are still happening. I'm happy to say that I have fantastic interactions with people all the time. So I still believe that a common, if not truth, a common understanding in its place will work out really well, because then there's live and let live. And within that, there's peace. And then within that peace, there's creativity and happiness. And I think happiness should be the battle cry, because I don't think we talk about it enough. And so finding that happiness is extremely important. And I do find that with people. I love meeting new people. I love interactions with all kinds of people, because you grow. That's my goal in Atlanta 2026.
When I was saying to you earlier about where I am in the world, which is in Somerset, and I was saying that it was countryside, and I could see that your eyes lit up. Listening to your music, there's a pastoral nature to your music, capturing something of the outside.
Yes. Yeah, I love using outdoor sounds in music.
Yeah.
Certainly not the first to do it. I won't be the last, but I think when it's done well, it's really pretty. And I've always wanted to like record an album next to a fountain. I've never done it because it's like a nightmare to record. But you can always I guess fly it in and post. But no, I do. I love nature. I was raised here in the South, so growing up, I listened to all kinds of music. my mom raised me with the Beatles, and then living in Atlanta, a lot of early 90s hip hop, and then Nirvana. And it was never anything too edgy because I was raised in a pretty small house with my mom. And so, she liked older music. So I didn't know about edgy indie music or anything like that till I got older. But I don't like country music, being here from the South. I don't like it at all. So like that's never really entered into it. But when you say pastoral, I think I can agree with that. I think I can hear some of what you're saying when you say that, although it's not really like the goal. But I'll take that as an extreme compliment too.
Okay, what is the goal then? That's cool. I mean, it's great when you have a goal in your head for your music, as opposed to I want to make a certain sound. So what's the goal?
What is the goal? I don't know anymore. I don't know. I've been doing this so long, I don't even know anymore. I think I said it already. I think the goal is just to get out of your own way, tell stories that I've lived through, that I know really happen and are the truth to me, and telling those stories as well as I can, and challenging myself to really explore what the idea is melodically and sonically. And rhythm is extremely important as well. And so what I like about this new recording project I have, the Kyle Gordon thing, which is named after me, is because there's all these like little odd one-off songs I have sitting around,
right,
that don't really fit into like the rock and roll project or the indie project or the folk project or whatever. And so my buddy Chris Sampson out of Atlanta, Georgia, he and I started kind of challenging ourselves to do things that we had never done. And so we approached these songs in a much different way. And we used a lot of really strong musicians. We have like a small chorale of like really strong musicians in our group. And so they are all on the album. And so I think that's why it's unique and different than from stuff I've done in the past. And maybe that's where some of the pastoral stuff's coming from, because previously I've had a big ego, and like with my band Mama Bear, I did all the music myself to its own detriment, I think. And so that's why I'm excited about moving forward and like getting out of my own way. And part of that is the growth as well, is like knowing what you can do and can't do, what you're good at, and when you should stand aside.
The fact you're talking about restrictions, because I think the restrictions are very good for creativity.
Yeah, because you can get in rhythms of doing what's easy. And then we saw this clip of David Bowie talking about how he was making an album at some point, and they went out of their way to put the amps in impossibly hard places to get to, and made it all very difficult to do. And while we didn't do that, we definitely changed our rules, or the rules that I'm used to doing. And this is the second song out of like 9 that I have recorded as Kyle Gordon. And just looking forward to getting back in the studio with him and creating some more. But over the next year, I'll just release these songs bit by bit.
I've read multiple stories over the years of people putting those restrictions on them and it really bearing fruit. I mean, I think there's stories of like Peter Gabriel saying no cymbals on a track at all.
I love Peter Gabriel. He's incredible. And then also what's cool about not using cymbals is now you have a track that's completely free of any kind of like constant high-end percussive. So now the song's freed up to do all kinds of cool other things. So that is a really cool, double cool thing. Yeah, I love Peter Gabriel. I love XTC. And one reason I really respect XTC is because Andy Partridge never tried to do all the instruments himself. You know, they would get a great, like when I can't remember the drummer's name, when he left finally, and they had studio drummers. None of them were like, oh, we can do it ourselves. And their albums never suffered through pride like that. So it always sounded unique and interesting. And so I admire artists that are able to write a song and then get out of the way. And for the longest time, I couldn't do that. I proved to myself that I could do it all. And that spawns from previous stuff that happened with other bands I was in that, we don't have to get into right now. But anyway.
one of the first people I actually had on here was Colin Moulding from XTC.
No, excuse me. No.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, you have to go and listen to that afterwards. But I think one of the
I will definitely check that out. Wow.
there's a thing. There was a bass player that
Well, his songwriting was absolutely on par with Andy's. Like,
Yeah.
especially at the end with his song Newt Fruit is as good as anything Andy ever came up with. But man, that's so cool. What's he like? Was he nice?
incredibly humble, incredibly just a nice guy, and just
Now I
still
feel bad. Now I feel bad about only talking about Andy.
Don't at all.
But I pulled out a random Colin Moulding song to prove that I love him. And Sacrificial Bonfire. I love that tune. 10 Feet Tall. Making Plans for Nigel. That's one of Colin's tunes.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Exactly.
I love it.
I feel like there's some there's some people out there that probably won't get the credit that they deserve fully until they die, which is a shame, but that's the way that it tends to happen these days. Apart from like setting those strict boundaries and then getting on the creativity, using that to be creative about it. And you say that these are sort of almost songs that didn't fit into any other kind of project.
Yeah.
Etc. Has there been anything else different in terms of the way that you've gone about recording these? From anything you've done?
Yeah, well, I mean, the big thing is I'm not known for much, but if I am known, it's for this band called Mama Bear. Yeah. And I did all the music myself for like 10 years, and except for very small bits here and there. Like notably the third album, Darren Dodd, the amazing Darren Dodd, is playing the drums on most of it. So that aside, I was very prideful because I really wanted to prove that I could do it, that I could make an album by myself. And I feel like each album, it started off cool and each album kind of went down the ladder. And so that's the big takeaway, was like I had to learn to get out of my own way. And what I love about working with Chris is I'll have a melody or an idea I want to sing, or, and I'll be singing it and he'll be like, you can do better than that. And so I'll just try something new. And then we just keep trying new things until it's like, oh, that's cool. And then we run with that. And then we usually get pretty cool results, because he and I have been making music forever and a day. And we're not new at it. We're just trying to keep it fresh at this point, Yeah. So not to make it sound too not sexy or anything like that, but
do you think in this day and age that we're living, I mentioned to you AI earlier, do you think right now one of the biggest problems is that people want everything to be immediate? Do you think that actually in one of the things that you're trying to do with this music, you are trying to engage the listener in taking time again?
I'm really ADD with songs. I like my songs to get right to the point, and these songs don't. And so, I think that if it was just me playing all the parts, it would have been way different. But then, I got my buddy Nick Whitson, who's an incredible musician. He's playing really incredible guitar lines throughout the stuff that I would have never come out with. And so you've got these block of chords that anyone and their mother could have written. And then you've got a decent melody on top of that. Cool. Now it's all that little stuff in between, and how different people bring different muscles to the equation. And you're just going to get all kinds of different cool results if you just trust that, and you just fall into them being creative.
So you kind of struggled personally with this in a way, because if you, as you've written these songs and then as you've recorded them as a unit, right, you've kind of enjoyed the process, but it's kind of going against part of you.
Well, it's me acknowledging my weaknesses, which is good, and you're like, right. Oh, okay, I can do this to some degree, and that's great. And then, but this guy's really good, or this girl, and we've got, like I said, we've got a cavalcade of people in our little group, and every single one of them is super talented, and I could gush on each one of them right now, but but they're here and they're doing their thing too. And there's like a lot of really cool music, real music coming out of Atlanta. And you could say that about anywhere, but I can't say that about everywhere else. I can just say that about what I know. And what I know is I know a lot of really talented people that are not doing what everyone else says you're supposed to do,
Once you've actually finished one of these songs now, these songs that you're producing now, are you able to enjoy it? Are you able to sit with it and enjoy the fact that you're now producing stuff that actually requires multiple listens to it, and you as a listener of your own material, you have to now immerse yourself in that process, which is great.
Yeah, I really don't listen to it once it comes out, but when I'm making it, I listen to it on repeat. I'm scrutinizing and thinking a lot about it. But once we like kind of agree and we like say this is where it's going and we record it and put it out, I'll like review it occasionally, but I don't really listen to my own music. And so I listened to Dead Oceans today because it came out. I haven't listened to it in like a year, maybe 2 years.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, it's cool. It's a good song.
Yeah, it is a good song.
And I didn't even listen to it the right way. I listened to it on my phone, just like I didn't even like I didn't even put it through like proper speakers. And yeah, no, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I think it's a really interesting tune. The arrangement's interesting. And I want everyone to know I'm like proud to say I had very little to do with it. I just I came in with an idea and a strong song structure. I'm doing the drums on it, the acoustic guitar, and the singing, and then maybe some fill guitar, but I'm not doing any of the cool things you hear. So, and I love that. I'm looking forward to more of that.
Do you listen to, when this stuff goes out, do you listen to what other people are saying about it?
I don't really have much feedback. I don't. I'm not working the social medias the way you're supposed to, and I forget to check my email for like weeks at a time. And no, I'm not like slammed with critiques, compliments, or put downs. If people are listening, I'm ignorant of it, but I'm happy if they are. It means a lot to me if they are listening, because I mean, how do you even compete with the amount of volume of music that comes out every single day these days? So I'm kind of realistic about it. I'm just kind of like I said, my goal is to always put out something that I at least would sign my name next to and say, I did that. And if people stumble across it and enjoy it, well, then that's fucking awesome. I love that.
You would be genuinely kind of shocked in a way if suddenly one of your songs blew up, because you wouldn't actually see any of that coming because you're not kind of involved in the process of it.
Well, the thing is it's like you got to have money. You got to have so much. My hair's all crazy today. You got to have money, to make like a song blow up these days. And no one knows that except for if you're in the business. And so I've learned about a decade ago to don't pay billionaires like for a chance to get like 300 views on a clip you put out on Instagram. Like, I don't even know, dude. I have no idea. I stopped. For my own sanity, I just stopped caring about that.
Yeah.
If you're purely doing it for that reason, you're not doing it for the right reason.
Okay. Well, let's say it happens, and it happens out of sort of happy coincidence. If somebody was just happening to find you one day, maybe they listen to this. Okay. Maybe they listen to this and then they go and check out the music afterwards, and they hear your latest song and they go, I'm making a movie, and I can see that in the title of the movie. Yeah. What kind of movie would you see that being a song in?
A romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hopefully like a Titanic blockbuster.
A massive, yeah.
Oh, you kidding? That's what you want.
Yeah.
You'd be a fool not to want that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd want it in a movie that's enjoyed by audiences of like all people. I wouldn't want it just jammed into like a
Would you have to have a
I
sort
don't
of
care. Put it in any movie, just not.
Oh no, I was going to say, but if it did, right, a big rom-com, would you have to, or sort of big romantic, grand gesture type movie, would you have to have a kind of anniversary once a year when that came out with the wife? We're going to watch the movie tonight because it's paid the bills.
Yeah, I know if it's paying the bills. Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. It would be awesome to my whole goal. There's a venue in Atlanta called the Tabernacle, and it's an old church.
Yeah.
A big old church, not a cathedral like what y'all got, but it's a big church. And anyway, they put on fantastic concerts there. I've seen a lot of great bands there. And so it's not arena, and it's not like your awesome local bar where the coolest bands play. It's the one between. Right. And I'd say steps below, whatever. I've always thought to myself, I'd consider myself a very commercially successful musician if I could have a circuit of that. That would be awesome.
Cool.
Because you'd be playing to people that genuinely like you, but you're still off the main radar, to where you can have a normal life. And then, but outside of that, like what I'm doing right now is awesome. I love it. I have a family, and I'm doing what I love now. I'm making the music I want. And if the success came, that would be fantastic. That'd be awesome. But it's at this point, it can't be about like even holding on to a shred of that, because then I get distracted. I start saying, I know, not even distracted, because I've never cared about. Well, you really, just worry that it goes into the music in some way. Well, then now that I have less time to make the music than I've ever had, it means more to me than ever to do it right when I do have the time to do it right. And so, these Kyle Gordon songs are actually like 3 years old. I've been sitting on them for a long time, and I haven't put them out because I really didn't know how. I really believed in them, especially when I just finished them. I was really proud of them. And I've been saving the best for last. So I'm really excited to share with you guys what I've got coming up next. But like, I haven't really recorded any new music outside of Anthems, the band I mentioned earlier, in like 2 years. So I've been putting almost all my energy into Anthems. And I'm working with this dude named B. He's incredible. He used to be with Heavy Mojo, and they were a very successful act. And he's just such a good songwriter, and he's super enthusiastic. And we've been playing as a band for 2 years now, and I just love it. It's really great. I highly recommend you check it out. We're about to put out new music in like 2 or 3 months, and it's super interesting, like punk rock meets rhythm and blues, R&B, because we both grew up listening to The Who and Atlanta hip hop. So it kind of like, wow. So it's really cool. It's like garage rock. Love that. It's more like what I do. Like I love performing live, like in a chaotic, like really chaotic environment. That's my bread and butter. Kyle Gordon's like exactly the opposite of that. So if I ever played Kyle Gordon live, I'd most likely just be singing with no instrument
in a church.
In a church. Why not? I go to a church, I guess. But no, I probably wouldn't sing in a church just because I don't think they'd really want to hear what I was singing. But if you meant the Tabernacle, then yes, I would do Tabernacle sized venues as Kyle Gordon if it picked up. Like I said, I'm not even thinking about that. That's not even a thing to me. So what ultimately is this group of songs? What does it mean to you then? I mean, obviously you've got all of these other irons in the fire. Yeah, I got too many irons in the fire. That's the problem. That's why I sat with Kyle Gordon project for so long, is because I was like, I'm busy managing Mama Bear, Anthems, and Kyle Gordon, and I do a photography thing. So I was like, I can't even focus on one correctly. And But at the same time, each project is recording really cool stuff in its own little sphere. If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't get anything done. And then also I have really strong friendship with Ian and Ange of We Believe, and they live in Liverpool now. They just moved, and they work with bands, and they put all their energy into like uplifting young acts and bands that don't have allies. And they really are like salt of the earth, just altruistically helping bands. And they're an asset to the northern UK scene. And I'm proud to say they're my friends. And so I wouldn't be talking to you right now if it weren't for them. So big shout out to We Believe of Ian and Ange. And big PR, thank you. I love you. You guys are awesome. Awesome.
I think one of the great things about this new technology that enables all of this music to get out there is it also enables people like me to get out there.
Yeah,
right?
hell yeah.
So I'm a big believer that there's the real scene in music is here. The real scene in music, actually, where people are really invested, is this kind of underground movement of people who love music and are making music and are doing stuff like this on a regular basis, purely for the sake of it, because they love it.
You guys are the other side of the coin that we need, and like there's just so much. Don't want to keep bringing up AI because it sucks, but with all that and the way that the world can, for a small monthly subscription, listen to the world's catalog of music, doesn't help art thrive in any way. And when I was a kid, you had to buy the album. And I'm gonna date myself here, but that also meant that you gave a about the artist you liked so much.
You had to save your money, right?
Because it meant something. It doesn't mean anything now. And so poor us. But so anyway, and that's another reason why, like, I'm just like, I can't play that game. I don't want to play that game. To me, it's just like a pure pleasure to, I remember being a kid and listening to music with my mom, like that feeling you got when the song like was in the climax moments or during the chorus, during the hook, I'd always it always hit me really deep, and I'd be like, Mom, what is that? Like, and I'd like I needed her to make it tangible. Like I needed to understand why does it like feel so cool when like I listen to Sergeant Pepper, like why does that feel so good? And so that was like a feeling I never lost, and I'm like more creative than I am handy. And so,
well, you said you're into photographs as well. Do you kind of feel like these Kyle Gordon tracks are almost like the photographs that sit in between everything else that you're doing?
That's kind of cool. I hadn't thought about it like that. Photography to me is a chance to tell a story with light and with composition, and music is a way to tell a story with language and rhythm and melody. And so there's parallels, I guess. I suppose there's parallels there.
Like when you're looking, when you're looking through like someone's photograph album. These do exist, by the way, folks out there. For all of those people,
be able to hold a picture.
Yeah, you can actually print and hold a picture. But when you we're looking for a photograph album, and there's all of these like main events, right? But it's those little pictures that are in between the main events that kind of tell the story in a way.
Yeah, like the candid stuff, the candid shots.
Yeah, maybe these are your little candid shots.
Yeah, I like that. I write all kinds of weird tunes, and so the ones that we picked for this, it's almost like I just pick up a guitar and I just be like, what do you think about this one? And then he'd be like, no, that sucks. I'm like, okay, let's try this one. Like, oh, I like that one. So then we'd be like, how are we going to do this? Okay, I don't know. So a lot of times he would just play the bass and I'd get behind the drums and we'd record at the same time. We'd play the bass and the drums, and then we'd have a working arrangement. And then from there, you could just start stacking whatever you wanted. Now, what I'm doing, what we as Anthems are doing is we're playing live. We're like a live band. So we're also working with Chris, but we're recording live to tape, 1/4-inch tape in the room together. That's
nice.
super cool. It feels really good to do it. Like we've all been playing music our whole life and we just love it. And we've got a great drummer, and we've got Matt and Mark are playing with B&I, and that's Anthems. And so I'm super stoked to like play it more often live, and because it's a really rowdy, crazy show and it's melodic and you can dance. And so it's a really cool project.
Kyle, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, thanks for your time. I've got 2 songs. I've got 2 songs on Spotify, and then if you want to check out this kind of weird song I put out as Kyle Gordon, it was like a soft release to kind of test the waters. It's called Into the Light, and you can find it on YouTube.
Cheers to you, sir. Thank you so much for your time today.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day, my friend. Have a great day. Folks, wonderful Kyle Gordon. Please do go and check out